selling ethically makes you more money than lying. And the reason this is the topic of today's video is because I see far too commonly, beginner salespeople lying to try to get more deals through the door because they want the money, and they're not making money because they're lying. So it's this revolving door where they're frustrated that they're not good enough at sales to make deals actually close. So they try to stretch the truth as a way of getting more deals to go through and close more deals. And what people fail to realize, and specifically more beginner sales reps or people who just lack sales experience, is that humans are not dumb. They're far smarter than you think they are. And it's because there's something wired in human DNA that helps you stay alive. It's a survival instinct, and it's fight or flight. When we were cavemen, when we were Neanderthals, and a fucking lion or a bear is approaching you, you're like, something feels off. I might die. And although we don't commonly get attacked by lions or bears in today's day and age, we get attacked by other humans. So when we have a human approaching us to try to sell us some stuff, we have this survival radar that goes off. And we're like, I feel like this person's full of shit. I feel like they're lying to me to take my money and take advantage of me. That survival instinct that's very primal, it comes out. And it's like, even if you can't put your finger on why you don't trust someone, you don't trust them. And that's why being ethical literally makes you more money. And what's really bizarre is if you go into the 70s and the 80s and you look at the top selling, I'm talking the best selling sales books, those books literally tell you to lie. And it's like, they basically tell you to lie to act like you have more in common with the prospect, with the other person, than you actually do to like hack and like act like you have rapport and like a connection with them. So if they're like, oh, like I have family in Atlanta, and you're like, no way, me too. And they just believe you. And like they lie, and like that was their thing. Like that's what they literally teach you to do. And it's insane because in today's day and age, there's something called the internet that exists, and you can get fact checked on anything, and lying doesn't work anymore because there's too much information out there. And lying really never worked. And in today's day and age, like across tons of Harvard research studies, trust is at its lowest point. Like we are truly in a trust recession. So this is what makes people like me excited, because the type of salespeople who can sell with a high level of empathy, that actually give a fuck about people, and in their ethics and morals, in their core, they can't lie to people, they can't fuck people over. These are the salespeople that are gonna win. So if you feel icky about sales, like you are going to be better at sales by default. Because in today's day and age, the person who is honest and genuine and authentic is going to win. I was literally just speaking with my sales team earlier because I was reviewing some of their sales calls, and I noticed some minor flaws in how they were approaching the sales call. Like they were there. They were asking the right questions. They were doing all the right things. They were checking all the right boxes, but there was a lack of depth in the conversation. It was like they were going through the motions, but they weren't present with the human being in front of them. They had problems that were bothering them, and they had desires that weren't happening in life, and that was frustrating for them. And it was almost as if they were just going through the motions like it was another Zoom call, instead of a human being who had problems that needed solved. And I really coached my sales team on how to have a high level of empathy for human beings. Let me get tactical for a second here. If you have a prospect and you're in the discovery phase, as in like you're learning more about them, their problems, why they're here, what their desires are, yada yada, you just want to sit back into a listening mode. And you know what, dog, when they're interested and they're curious, they like tilt their head a little bit. You want to do that. You, especially if you're on Zoom or you're in person, or they can like visually see you, it's not just like a phone call. Literally tilt your head and just listen. And then when they say any emotionally charged words, like, yeah, things have been really tight, but we're getting by. And you're like, we're getting by? Or you're getting by? If you just say 2 or 3 emotionally charged words in their sentence, tilt your head and say it with an upward, curious tonality that conveys genuine empathy in your body language, in your tonality. People will be like, oh, this person actually gives a fuck. They care about solving my problem. That level of trust in your empathy and your genuine authenticity will make them open up to you more and tell you the real deep shit that's going on. That is the information that you need to make deals close. Because when someone has a problem that needs solved and they're speaking company to company to find the right solution, it's a battle of the salesperson that gives a fuck the most. Because if you deeply care about someone and you have a high level of empathy for their problems getting solved, and you care more about them and their problems getting solved than they care about themselves, you don't let them not buy your stuff. Because if you deeply, and this is a big caveat here, if you deeply feel like your product or service is great and it actually benefits people's lives and it is actually great and it gets people great results and it solves the problem at hand, it is your moral duty and obligation to make sure that you sell people before other people buy your competitor stuff if it's truly an inferior product. If you care about people, you won't let them buy it. You will persuade them through a high level of empathy and passion and care for them to buy your stuff instead of the inferior stuff. And like, I have a whole company called The Closing Bible. When I was thinking of the name of it, whether you're religious or not, this doesn't matter. I was thinking about the Bible and I was thinking about how the Old Testament is where God is very like harsh and like fierce and very like punishing humanity. Like they sinned, he flooded the whole earth. And then the Bible is split into two books. So there's the Old Testament, there's the New Testament. What divides it is ultimately Jesus getting sacrificed on the cross, dying for our sins, and then the New Testament was born. And then after that, God's a nice guy. He's very forgiving. He's very just lighter, nicer guy. And I'm like, man, when you think of these sales trainers in the 70s and 80s telling people to lie, I want to be the New Testament, God, so to speak, that is very like nice and genuine and ethical and caring about people. Because in the New Testament of sales training, where sales is different forever, the person who is the ethical seller who cares the most is the person who gets the money, wins the business, and wins. So if you've been in sales and you feel like you have to sacrifice your ethics or your morals or your whatever to make deals go through, let me tell you, that is hurting you more than it's helping you. And independent from like caring about people, like you will make more money. And when your head hits the pillow at night, you're gonna feel good about yourself. You're gonna get texts from prospects a month, 2 months, 3 months after you close them being like, dude, thank you so much. I was getting in my own way and you helped me get out of it. Like I text prospects from years ago that I closed because I have a genuine connection with them and I love to get updates from them. Sales at its core is helping people help themselves and being like an external voice of reason on what they should and shouldn't do. Being like, hey, I'm from the outside looking in at your life. This is what you're telling me. This stuff's got to stop. You can buy this thing and it can change what's happening here and things are going to get better. Like the things that you want are on the other side of this decision. I need to help you walk through this decision-making process to make your life better. That's what this is about. This isn't about Wolf of Wall Street, hand twisting, lying, being conniving, and doing what we can to make a deal go through. If that's you, unsubscribe to this channel. So that's it for this video. I just felt called to make this video because I want people to stick to their ethics and morals and make a fuck ton of money. And that's truly possible in sales. And too many people have it backwards to where they're not only make less money, but they feel like shit every single night when their head hits a pillow at night because they know they're fucking people over just to make money. And it's like, sales does not have to be like this. And if you are religious, read the Bible. The whole blueprint to sell is in the Bible. It's about serving people. It's about doing people right. It's about spreading the word about the shit that you care about. If you enjoyed this video, pretty please subscribe and leave any comments on any other like sales training or sales philosophy type videos that you guys want, and I will make all of them. So thank you so much. Peace.